And the other topic that I want to touch on real quick is there's this clip from 2 days ago saying Michi opens up about why she shouldn't leave early. She couldn't leave early from that company. She's reacting to the Mata and Kuro one. So we covered this clip the other day and she's reacting to it. And I've watched part of it. I didn't feel like she added much. At one point she says she's gonna drop tea and then her tea is like, Matara worked so hard on her new project. Which she did. We were watching it today, but we forgot which. Maybe we can skip around a little bit.
So, you want to know? I think I can say this, right? So, with Mata, during that time... Oh my god. No way, spilling tea! But I remember during that time, Mata wouldn't do it every month. Mata would do it like every 2 weeks.
_ for the 1 resub.
She would do it like every couple of weeks. She's like, it's so good. You need to leave. And I was like, what are you? I don't know. And okay, I will say there are a lot of reasons why a lot of things were difficult. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm not that smart when it comes to like innuendos. But let's say hypothetically to save our ass, right? The good old hypothetical. So hypothetically, I was thinking actually of leaving since like early, like really before. I think even like before.
Oh, we found the spot.
Anyone. I was already planning it, but
I'm actually a witch because I clicked randomly in the video and that's exactly the spot that I wanted to show you guys.
There was a lot of stuff happening at that time. There was a lot of like, I guess like promises that were made, I guess, because it's not as easy, right? Like it's not as easy. It's not just like, oh, bye. You know, they kind of like try and talk to leave what? Hypothetically, a dream world in a dream. Yeah. So it's one of those. The thing is, during that time, there was a lot of stuff that were like promised that.
Yes, exactly. She's super sweet. I actually love her storytelling. I do love the way she expressed herself, but she's kind of like me and she goes on a million tangents. It's really hard sometimes to narrow it down.
I was considering, I'm not gonna lie, and the promises weren't like, oh, we promised that like this is gonna change, that's gonna change. It's not that, but it's kind of like things are happening and we don't want to bother it, if that makes sense. Like, are you really gonna leave if someone's gonna celebrate something, or if, you know, we're planning on this big thing, if you left at that time, it might like ruin it. So I was trying to be considerate. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I will say I was really excited for the stuff they promised, but I mean, by the end of the day, you know, the promise didn't really go through, and I was like, well, okay, there's like this.
The promises didn't go through? Why am I not surprised?
Couple of times you said that and it didn't happen, so safe to say I don't quite trust you and your promises no more. But there were times where I just wanted to be considerate, you know. I don't want to ruin someone else's like big day or something that's planning.
Yeah,
like, good things are gonna get announced and I'm ruining it. So it was a whole thing, it was a whole process. But over time I was a bit more hesitant about like, I guess, like leaving, if that makes sense.
So 300 here is the secret.
It's hard to leave a job. For me it was always like about telling my boss that I was leaving. God, I hated that part. I hated that.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's always like, I guess, an event, but the best way I can say is like they say it like it's a massive event, but then they don't act like it's that big of a deal. You know, if I were to be like, chat, I'm gonna get like a concert soon, bro, best believe all I talk about is the concert, right? Like, it's called advertising and that brings the hype. But this wasn't kind of like that. I don't know. The best way I can explain it was, at first it started from like promises and considerations, and then I just felt bad. Like, I felt kind of, and it's not anyone's fault but mine. I will make it very clear, it is not their fault. This is my fault. I feel bad very easily, so I just went like, I don't know, maybe I...
So it wasn't management guilt-tripping her, it was more like her feeling she wanted to be considerate of others people's events? Or...
Shouldn't, right? Like, maybe I shouldn't, and like, I don't know what's gonna happen if I did
leave. Is this at 1.25 speed? Yeah, it is. Is it too fast?
I wasn't like big. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when people are like, oh, Vshoujo hires big people. I don't know. I wasn't big at all. Like, I was like a teeny tiny speck of dust in the world that was just kind of there as like the butt of the joke.
No, I think she was big. I think she was big. A lot of people knew her. Especially on the English world. She speaks English perfectly. Even though she was from Niji Sanji ID, I think she was one of the most popular livers for sure.
And I know this sounds like imposter syndrome maybe, or like bad stuff, but I did not get 1k CCV, dude. It was like, hypothetically, it was less. It was 500, I'm pretty sure. It's not small, but compared to like bigger people, maybe people I was working with, it wasn't good enough, right? Like,
right.
That's being realistic.
Everything is relative.
I can talk about this, I guess, since it's a whatever.
You could have 100k subscribers and think you're small compared to somebody that has 1 million.
time, one of the reasons why I did end up getting where I was because like Clippers, right? Clippers, hypothetically, Clippers did God's work. Like if there were clips of me and there were like a lot of people watching, people start knowing who I was. So it was generally videos and clips. I guess like when it comes to official.
Yeah, she did, Charlie. And guys, clippers are so important. Same with people that make memes about VTubers. Like, if you want to support a VTuber that you like, take the time to edit a clip for them. Take the time to do a fan art or you don't need to spend money. You really don't. Some other things really go a long way.
Clips, you know, like right now we have like, for example, daily Michi, right? Like we have clippers that are dedicated to clipping a specific.
I gotta make them work a little bit, you know, for their McDonald's.
VTuber, we have like the daily dose of Henya where they only clip Henya, stuff like that. But there's like the main VShojo channel, you know, hypothetically at that time, in the main channel, every single time.
Don't say that. This is same as abusive relationship. People don't leave because they gaslighted into feeling they will make it worse by leaving. Don't victim blame. Don't blame yourself.
The best I can say it is like, I think I understand why I understand why I feel this way. I think it's completely fair, but like, I guess for viewers, for chat that doesn't know, it might be like, okay, you just have like thick imposter syndrome. That's not true. It's not like I have imposter syndrome for the sake of it, you know? So like in the main channel, the only times I would ever get like clipped or highlighted was when I was the butt of the joke. Like I did something to kind of boost other people up, you know, which is very, very common in the content creating world. Very common. Like if I'm in a collab chat and I'm not streaming, I will focus on making the person streaming better. Like they will have good moments, you know? So I kind of fade in.
Well, okay, I think there's two roles in a collab. There's the person that's unhinged, and then there's the person that's there to react to the unhinged and be like the molding person. I feel like there's the two synergies, but the roles should be interchangeable from collab to collab. For example, like when Fillion collabs with Shondo will say something unhinged, and Fillion will be like, no, I can't believe you said that, blah, 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 blah. And then it creates this dynamic that's really entertaining for viewers. Which one are you, Rima? It depends. I can be both, depending on the situation.
As like a secondary character to them. That is a very common thing. That's why sometimes in like big collabs, I don't stream so I can just fully focus on making them shine. But when I'm streaming and other people aren't streaming, they do the same for me. That's kind of where the consensus lies. It's like an unspoken vibe. You know, if you're not streaming and someone else is and you're in a collab that they sorted, you don't want to hog the spotlight, quote unquote, right?
Oh, but like Fillion, if you see her collab with Pippa will be like the deadpan one, and Fillion will say like the crazy stuff, or will be like the motor mouth, and Pippa will just react like deadpan, like, okay, so why are you saying that then? Oh my god, I can't with you guys. You know, that kind of dynamic, but it changes. It depends who you're collabing with. So you're a Switch noted. Why is everybody saying I'm a Switch?
Kind of want to be a team player. So I do that quite often. Like those are the only times that it gets clipped. So every time, like let's say it's a funny moment, like I did something good.
It might zero too.
The only time that does get clipped is when like I am the butt of the joke. So I've always thought of myself as a secondhand character, which is not like, it's not good, but it's not bad either. It is where I got a lot of my viewers from. So I'm not gonna complain about it, but that's where I had a lot of doubts, all right? When Mata and Kuro were like, you should try new things, you should branch out, aim bigger. I'm gonna be real. There was a time I sat there and I was like, it's so easy for you to say. Like, it's so easy for you to say, because you're big and people know you and people love you. I'm not like that. I'm not you. So I did appreciate, though. They were so nice. They were like, Michi, we will always be there for you. We will always support you no matter what. But realistically speaking, it's a scary step. You know, it's a very scary step because I was so unexperienced. Like, I didn't know anything about, I don't know, like merchandising, advertising, promotional stuff. All I knew was how to stream. That's all I knew. So it's like, what if I took that big step and I can't keep up with you, you know? And I just screwed myself over. Like, yes, what I'm in is not the best, but something is better than nothing. And what if I leave and now I get nothing? That was a big fear. It was a massive, massive
So
big
I assume she didn't get a VShojo deal then because they would handle the merch.
fear. But 100%, though, I'll say this about Mata. Mata is not the type to be so persistent unless she really believes in it. And I am a very doubtful person. So that's why Mata is very consistent, okay? Like, when Mata is consistent to me, I actually appreciate because I know that this means something. So she wasn't being like pushy or annoying. It's not. It's just like Mata said, I know that it comes from a good place, and I am very fucking stubborn. I am so stubborn. When I have my mind set on the worst, it's hard for me to kind of like look at the positives, you know? That so she's really nice. I love her very much. That is true.
You need
She
to leave.
does seem
I promise
really
you, I
nice.
will not let you fail. Like,
Okay, we've seen the rest. So that's it for the Michi clip about why she couldn't leave early from the company. So it's not a graduation Q rat per se, but it's more like a graduation delays. They kept saying that it wasn't the right time. But Michi is a very talented VTuber, and I feel like she's done a lot by herself, and you don't need much to, unless you do your own merch, which very little VTubers do. It can't be that complicated, right?